Okay, here we go. We're live here, and oh, man. So we're live, and we're gonna be doing live play-by-play for the Xfinity Series Pit Boss 200 here at Circuit of the Americas, and we're getting ready for a pretty good race. Hopefully, obviously gotta wait and see how it'll go. We got Allmendinger on the front row along with Sammy Smith. Curious to see how those two end up playing out on the front row together. We have a track map up in that corner. A track map up in that corner for you guys to help reference when I'm talking about different parts of the track. For anyone who might not be that familiar with this track, as for NASCAR at least, they've only raced here for the last 3 years, so you might not be as familiar with the layout. But here we go. And I want to make sure I pull up a leaderboard on my main monitor as well as the display monitor that I use for the to keep the leaderboard updated. But yeah, so they've just fired the engines and we're waiting for them to cut to the start of the race because that's how they typically do it. They usually are pacing by the time they get back from the commercial break after launching it. But yeah, so they're doing a piece right now about Parker Kligerman. So here we go. So yeah, so then after Sammy Smith, it goes Ty Gibbs, Sheldon Creed, Parker Kligerman, Nemechek, Herbst, Allgaier, William Byron, and the Hendrick Motorsports number 17. Cool to see that car return after seeing it a few times last year. And then we've got Cole Custer in that 00. Kind of surprised we haven't seen him do better this year. Hemrick, Austin Hill, Amarola. Amarola's in the 08 today, so don't get confused when you see that 10 car run up front a lot. It's not Amarola. Sam Mayer in the 1 will be starting 14th, and his teammate Josh Berry will be starting 15th. But yeah, there's a lot of talent through most of this entire field, and that's part of why I actually chose to set up the stream today, was that it would give me the ability to actually stream this talented field, because originally I didn't think it was this talented, but then it's like, okay, Allmendinger, Gibbs, William Byron, Josh Berry, obviously your Xfinity regulars, Carson Hocevar making his first NASCAR Xfinity Series start after what he did at Sonoma. I wouldn't put it past him winning this race. It's unlikely because it is only his first start, but... Oh, and Josh Bilicki will also be in the Cup race tomorrow, so I guess that's technically a Cup driver crossing over because they're doing a piece on that right now. But, yep. So, there we go. How's it going, everybody? Uh-oh. Alright, there we go. How's everybody doing today? So right now they're waiting to talk with... They're talking with Ty Gibbs here. But yeah, I mean, I think realistically for all these Cup guys, maybe Amarola would be the one exception. The extra laps are extremely helpful to learn the track for not only this week, but also years to come, because it seems like COTA is going to be a staple on the schedule for years to come. So, yeah, here we go. Yeah, so they're pacing around, and again, like that, because that's the big thing, especially at some of the tracks that NASCAR has only recently started going to, is that you don't want to end up forgetting where a corner is during the Cup race tomorrow. Because you only got a short practice session and then the qualifying session to get there. So here we go. Didn't think to grab some water beforehand, so I'll have to do that at our first yellow flag. But that actually reminds me of another change for this weekend. The stage cautions are gone. The stage cautions, they are no more for road courses at least. So for this road course race, there will be no yellow flags to break up the stages. They will still award points at the stage lap. So at the lap that you see up there, so lap 14, they will still award points, but there is not a guaranteed yellow flag there. They may still end up wrecking while trying to fight for points, so it's possible we still get a yellow, but it's less likely. Or at the very least, it's not a guarantee. So here we go. Yeah. Alright, here we go. So yeah, so they're getting ready here for the race. They're all packed up. And they're gonna do their run through the track. So yeah, that big run down the front stretch at the bottom of the track map I've got up on the screen. That's one of the best passing zones. That's turn 1. The other good spots for passing are turn 11 in the top right-hand corner of the track map I've got on the screen. Then obviously at the end of that long straightaway, you got a lot of speed and can try and out-brave someone into that corner. Although it's a very easy way to mess yourself up by going in there way too brave and wiping somebody else out with you. But those are probably your 3 best spots to pass people. But we're going to have to wait and see, obviously. But here we go. Are they really going to another commercial before this race? Alright, I'm going to grab my water then before the race. I didn't think we were going to get this, so I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Hopefully, we're all getting ready here for this Xfinity race. No idea how much longer they're going to wait because they already got cars on track rolling. And no real reason to still wait, but I guess we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Alright. So I got my water. Alright. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I don't know why the server or why the stream is buffering so much this afternoon. And so there's less people on my internet than normal, but here we go. Alright, so they're congratulating Zane Smith on his win earlier today, and yeah, he burned that truck up as soon as he got to the start finish line. The truck literally caught fire. Talk about a hot ride. We know he's not on the hot seat because he's defending champion, although maybe now that he set a truck on fire, maybe. But here we go. Allmendinger. Again, him. Alright, so it's 14, 16, and 16. That's the stage breakdown, so. What's the fuel window? That's the important thing. Alright. You can go 20 laps. That's a tough one. I think you just pit right at. I think depending on your gap, you either pit right after you get your points or right as you're coming to get the points. If you have the time, that's the big thing. I want to know what the time variable between entering pit road and getting to that timing line is to lock in your points. They're green flag and going, but that would be my biggest question. And the biggest thing I would want to check in practice is, oh, whoa there, 4 wide for the lead, and Allmendinger got shuffled there right at the start. That's surprising to see Allmendinger be the one getting shuffled 4 wide. And here he goes back on the inside. But yeah, he ended up checking up and getting out of the middle of all that, but he's still back up to second after all the passing there. I'm going to have to wait and see, though, throughout this lap. And that's one thing that's going to be a little different with the timing and scoring. I believe it only updates per lap, so. But here we go. Sheldon Creed, okay. I couldn't tell who that was that took the lead, but that's Sheldon Creed in the number 2 car. Nice to see him up there leading laps. But yeah, so Sheldon Creed's made his way through to the lead. Gonna have to wait and see, because again, these laps, and that's one thing, is that the laps at the road courses are very long, so we won't get our update on our scoring board, and Fox is refusing to show us what the scoring is, so looks like that's the Monster Energy 19 in third, so that's Ty Gibbs. Sammy Smith is back to fourth. So, yeah, you got your, okay, here we go. Allmendinger goes and moves Creed out the way so early on. I don't know if I would be using the bumper quite yet, and Creed looking for the crossover, but nope, there we go. Allmendinger has the inside for that set of corners. Right now they're racing around in the, they're racing in the carousel there, the big long curve that you can see in the little track map up there. But, man, so Ty Gibbs made it 4 wide with Creed and Allmendinger and all them and shoved them all wide. Sammy Smith got the worst of it, probably. One, because he ended up fourth, but also with just how wide he got ran, he may have some dirt and debris on his tires from running that wide, too. Oh, uh-oh. Sounds like they're talking about Josh Berry and Xfinity regular having some damage here. My race pick, by the way, it's Allmendinger. If I had to pick an Xfinity regular, I'd go Sammy Smith, but Allmendinger it's a safe bet. He's the winningest driver in the Xfinity Series. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of damage. Finally, they show it. They were talking about it like a minute ago, but we finally get to see the damage from that one. So Allmendinger led lap 1. But yeah, so depending on what that time that you lose is in the pit lane, that's going to be the interesting thing to see going forward here. But yeah, so man, was not happy with Fox there for that one. Talking about a damaged race car, but not showing it. So those two are starting to battle as we've got Allmendinger starting to pull away. One sec. Okay, my computer's freezing up just a minute, guys. But yeah. But yeah, I'll be back with the race in just a minute. Alright, so sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to clean up my computer a little bit. Maybe that'll improve the performance as well. But yeah, for right now, I'm just trying to get this cleared up a bit. Should have done that beforehand, but yeah. All right, so Kligerman's held on in 7th right now. Byron's up to 8th. Looks like Riley Herbst has been the big one to drop so far. He's dropped 2-3 spots already. Austin Hill's up into that top 5. That's a nice one to see. Just kind of a quick update on that one. Yeah, there's not much. That's kind of one of the things about road courses is that all the action happens in a chess match style. So, yeah, Allmendinger has started to drag it to a 3-second lead already. Yeah, so the big question is the gap that Allmendinger has. If he can get a big enough gap on Ty Gibbs to where he can pit and still lead at the line for the stage points, Allmendinger isn't necessarily the one I'm talking about here in this situation. I'm thinking maybe someone like Sheldon Creed over Sammy Smith. If Sheldon Creed can get far enough ahead of Sammy Smith to where he can pit and still hit the line before Sammy for that extra stage point, I think you see Sheldon Creed maybe pit earlier. Because you want to pit sooner than everybody else here. Because you want to be able to get the fuel the sooner. You want to be ready if they do end up having a yellow flag flying. But I would also warn that when it comes to the drivers. You don't want to end up in a situation where you run out of fuel because you pit too early. So 20 laps to go is when I would look at probably making maybe close to 18 to go. It just depends because you got that. The final stage is 16 laps, so that's going to be the most interesting part is when to make that final stop. I think, again, your best shot to pit is going to be lap 17 or 16 to go. That would be my bet, would be that you pit either coming to the points or you pit just after you secure your points. Just depending on what you absolutely need for this one. And also, we'll have to see, obviously, with the how the yellows fall. Hopefully, the yellows fall good for strategy, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I don't know why my computer is being so slow today. I just did a restart too. I mean, I'm saying there's not much I can do other than restart my computer, which would end the stream. But yeah, so they're under the yellow, or not under the yellow flag, but they're under commercial break, so we don't have an eye on the track. But yeah, William Byron is now pissed, and John Hunter Nemechek is falling through the field a bit. Parker Kligerman up to 6th. Oh, and we're back from commercial break. That was a quick one, or at least it felt pretty quick. But yeah, so right now, okay, there we go. It seems like it's cleared up a little bit, but yeah. So far, Allmendinger has dominated this race, and he has pulled away to a almost 4-second lead at this point. But yeah, so far this and this style of racing usually leads to one or two drivers kind of figuring this out really early on and taking the lead. Again, without the stage yellows, it makes it a little harder to predict, which I like because it means that there's more strategy options available. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see if they actually end up utilizing any strategy or if they just end up pitting right around the end of the stages anyway. So they can pit right at the end of each stage and make it safely to the next one, to the end of the next one. But you don't have to. You can run beyond the stage length a little bit. But yeah, so it's really just kind of a guessing game, honestly, when it comes to how this strategy is going to play out, because we haven't seen this since about 2016 was the last time we saw no stages with road course racing, but yeah. So there we go. Hocevar is out here running in the Xfinity Series. Miguel Paludo. Wow, I didn't realize Miguel Paludo was 39. I thought he was a little younger than that. But yeah. All right, here we go. Allgaier and Hocevar just outside that top 10 right now. All right, there we go. Jeb Burton's actually doing pretty well today. I'm kind of surprised to see Jeb Burton up as high as he is. Oh, Daniel Hemrick just used up John Hunter to pass him. Although I wouldn't put it past both of them getting passed by a few different people because of that. Oh, Brad Perez spun in turn 8. It's interesting to see. Oh, Ryan Sieg and Sage Carabel got pass-through penalties. Uh-oh. They got pass-through penalties for cutting the course, which is not good. Yeah, those are not good. Sage Karam, he's an IndyCar driver. He should be pretty familiar with road course racing, but obviously NASCAR cars are different. But yeah, here we go. Oh man, sorry about that. Here we go. Austin Hill and William Byron are battling it out for 5th here. Parker Kligerman just kind of hanging out in behind these guys, waiting to see what will happen. Austin Hill leaves the door open for Byron and is going to get taken. No. Looks like the 48 is going to have to fight a little bit harder here. Because, yeah, and they cut away from a side-by-side battle. Why? Why did we cut away from the 21 and the 48 side-by-side? So we're going to have to wait and see when they eventually get back around to showing that battle. But, yeah, this is the 17, I think Austin Hill wasn't going to try and challenge that one, but now, there we go. They say leaderboard is showing Parker Kligerman making the pass on Austin Hill, so there we go. We're going to have to wait and see, obviously, if that ends up holding true, but... And they're going to commercial break before catching up on that battle that they cut away from. But, yeah, so it looks like Parker Kligerman did manage to finish off that pass on Austin Hill after he ended up on the outside for a couple of corners. But, yeah, man, I don't know why you cut away from a perfectly good side-by-side battle for position within the top 5 to show the leader running all by himself. Oh, we got a car stopped. It's Carson Hocevar is stopped on track. Carson Hocevar is stopped on track. And we go yellow. We have the yellow flag is out. I'm curious to know why we threw the yellow that quickly for a car just stopped. I mean, maybe it's because there were still a lot of cars come through that section, but I don't know. We got a yellow, though, so we're going to bunch the field back together. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a coin toss whether you pit here or not. I think if you do, you can run a decent chunk into Stage 2, but you still can't make it to the end of Stage 2. Trying to think of what strategy I would employ here to try and maximize points. I think I would just do the long. I think I would do a long run. I think I would run it. I'd pit here, and I would try and stretch the. I would try and pit probably sometime around lap 20 or so in the race. So after about 4 laps after the points get paid, that way you make sure that you aren't going to get passed by pitting, but also you aren't going to lose too much time. Because you're going to lose a lot of time if you pit on... I think you pit now, and you run it deep-ish. But, yeah. I mean, you could just pit. I mean, you could just continue pitting at the end of right after points get paid. I think this gives you the more comfort to pit after and not pit right as the stage is coming down. But again, that'll come down to what the people in front of you are doing. Because if the people in front of you are pitting towards the end of the stage, this gives you the option to not have to pit. Or let's say you're in that position where you might get passed by the end of the stage if you do pit and they stay out. You don't want to end up getting passed. And it looks like everybody's pitting. So yeah, it looks like most everybody came to pit road here. We're going to have to wait and see, obviously, as to what the final running order ends up being. But yeah, I think for the most part, the all the people who are realistically going to win this race at least came into pit. But yeah, if you pit under green, it's really nice because you won't go a lap down and you can still end up having a shot at, and you'll basically get the lead for free if the yellow comes out while you're pitting. Because you get the fresh tires because you were on pit road before the yellow flew, and you don't have to use them before everybody else does. But yeah. Here we go. How's everybody doing today? We are going to commercial break, it seems, but my internet's acting up a bit, so here we go. How is everybody doing today? Let's see. I'm curious to see who ends up winning this thing, though. It's going to be a long way to find out, but I wonder what the pace lap speed is going to be at this kind of track. Because it's a long pace lap. I mean, it's a 3.44, or it's a 3.4 mile road course, so it's not like it's a short track at all. Man. And so yeah, right now we're waiting for the yellow to wrap up here, but yeah. We're currently 8 laps in, we're under the yellow flag, and if you desperately need stage points, I would have actually maybe considered staying out. So if you were, I don't know the points off the top of my head, but if, let me see if I can pull up the standings real quick. Let me see. So if you were Sheldon Creed, maybe even Parker Kligerman, Brett Moffitt, even maybe, I would have stayed out at this yellow to try and maximize the points that you can get. But yeah, so if I was one of those guys around the cut line, basically for the Xfinity Series points, I would have utilized that to try and maximize my ability to get points. And we'll have to wait and see, obviously, if I'm right, but those would be the guys I would say. Now, late in this race, if you get a yellow, I think you definitely stay out if you're if you have the fuel to make it to the checkers and a yellow comes out. I mean, unless we'll have to wait and see how tires seem to matter or not matter over the course of this race, because I feel like somebody's got to split the strategy at some point. Let's say, trying to think of what we saw in the truck race, because I didn't get to see the entire truck race. I got to see most of it, though. I got to see basically from stage 1 on, or from the end of stage 1 onward. 5 laps to go in the stage, and no one... Wait. Okay, Kligerman stayed out. That was the only one that stayed out, really? We're gonna have to wait and see, but yeah. Yeah, Parker, Kligerman, Riley, Herb. So it seems like maybe did Allmendinger really stay out? Yeah, Allmendinger stayed out. Okay, so first guy that pit was Austin Hill. So we saw Chandler Smith there. He hasn't won a race yet, so it makes sense to try and pad some extra points just in case things start to go bad. Jeremy Clements. I think that might be... I don't know what that move necessarily is for. I don't remember him being too good in the points, but every little bit, I guess, helps. But, yeah. Riley Herbst is another one that I think he's just padding points to make sure that he doesn't end up on that point bubble. If he can stay up front and at least earn a couple of stage points here, he can do that. I find it weird that Allmendinger is the one I find really weird. I don't know why Allmendinger would have pulled this strategy. Like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, to have Allmendinger, of all people, play this kind of strategy here. So yeah, so right now they're showing the battle between I can't even tell what battle this is because of looks like Austin Hill. They're showing the battle for 11th. Because yeah, Austin Hill fighting with Byron for the top 10 spot. Got John Hunter, Nemechek, and Sammy Smith back there as well. But yeah, I mean, that's the big thing right now is that I get it. You really can't do... You got to do something different here to try and make it happen, but I think Ty Gibbs is just going to absolutely tear through the field here now that him and Sheldon Creed, I think, are going to be the two. Sheldon Creed's up quite a few already. So yeah, right now Kligerman is definitely the driver, I would say, that could potentially benefit the most, though, from this strategy. I like to see him trying it. He was one of the ones I named. But yeah. Again, you need to earn some points, and that's the big thing that I think Kligerman's going to do. I don't know why Allmendinger stayed out, but considering that he stayed out, I don't blame most every other competitive driver for pitting to try and basically stack the box against against Allmendinger, I mean. But yeah. Oh, Allgaier's got some damage and a lot of it too. Actually, I mean, for aerodynamics, I mean, you got a split. You have the hood bent up. You got the front nose pushed in a bit. That is not a great spot. Alright, so here we go. Man, Allgaier, he's up to 7th right now, but again, like, for these guys who didn't pit, we're going to have to wait and see, obviously, how this ends up playing out, both when they award the points here in 3 laps, but also at the end of the race to see if they end up costing themselves a shot at the win. I like the no stage yellow mainly because now if someone tries something to get points, if it backfires on them, it's on them versus kind of being put in a box for the strategy of the race. Having to choose between track position or points. Because that's what happened to Zane Smith last year, was that he ended up staying out to win the stage, and Kyle Busch got to pit and get the lead at the restart. But yeah, here we go. It's definitely an interesting race, though. Alright, so Sheldon Creed up to third here. So you got Sheldon Creed, you got Zane Smith in sixth, and you've got Allgaier in eighth. Those are your highest running drivers currently without who have already pit. And Sheldon Creed makes the pass on Kligerman. So Sheldon Creed has made the pass here on the second place car here. We're gonna have to wait and see, obviously, what Creed's able to do before this stage ends here in like a lap and a half. But I'm curious to see it. Oh wait, no, he's got 2.5 laps. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, so right now, I mean, the big thing with this strategy is that you gotta keep an eye on it, and you gotta keep adjusting it throughout the race. So what I might say at the start of the race as my kind of theoretical strategy that I would go with might be the losing strategy by lap 50 or 60. Or 48, I guess, in this, or 46 in today's race. But that's kind of my point, though, is that you don't want to try and plan, or you want to make sure that you're adapting your plan on the fly, at least. So Parker Kligerman's lost one spot already. His next pass for position would be Riley Herbst and or Ty Gibbs trying to make a 2-for-1 deal happen on them. But yeah, those are your next two to get passed by Ty Gibbs with the fresh tires. So here we go. So talking to Chris Rice to try and understand the strategy here for the 10. Alright. So here we go. Man. Brandon Jones is out there. He still hasn't pit. Him in 6th place, that makes a little bit of game. So the only cars currently in position to get points that didn't pit were Allmendinger, Kligerman, Herbst, and then Brandon Jones. Those are your only cars currently in the top 10 that stayed out to try and gain some track position. And now let's check and see where some of the other guys have ended up. So Chandler Smith in 15th, Clements in 16th, and Gralla in 17th are three of your guys who stayed out, which is not great. So there we go. So 15 through 17, those are three of your guys who tried the staying out strategy. I'm not a big fan of the whole staying out strategy, but again, if you needed the points and if you were able to hold on for them, because I kind of mentioned how I thought that that Chandler Smith could have used those points to try and pad the cushion, but where he's in 15th, he's not going to get any. But yeah, Allmendinger is just stretching this lead yet again. I mean, he can coast to the line here. Like, he has got these points locked up. Sheldon Creed is not catching him. But, yeah. Sorry about the kind of scatterbrain coverage here, but trying to figure out what to even talk about here, because we're coming to the end of the stage here. So points will be paid. There will be no caution flag. I don't know. I disagree with what the booth is saying here about that Allmendinger is going to lose a ton of time or a ton of track position. I don't know. If I'm Allmendinger, where I'm stretching the field, I run this thing dry. I mean, you're stretching the field at this point. I don't see a reason for him to pit. If you're losing time, yeah, pit. Pit now and stop the bleeding. But where Allmendinger is gapping the field, I see no reason for him to pit until that thing runs out of gas completely. But, I mean, obviously we'll have to wait and see on this one. See if other people agree with me. But yeah, so Hocevar is already out the race. With whatever mechanical issue happened, it did put him out the race. But yeah, the lack of the stage caution is interesting here. So Creed, Parker Kligerman, Herbst, Allgaier, Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, and Sam Mayer were the people who received points. Obviously, Allmendinger and the other Cup guys like Ty Gibbs and William Byron, they don't earn any points because they're not racing for points in this series. Alright, here we go. Here comes AJ Allmendinger. I would not have pit here. I would have tried to keep this thing out as long as possible to try and stretch it, but apparently he disagreed. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously, I guess. Because there is no guarantee or there's no 100% strategy, I guess. Kligerman maybe can stay out, although again, I would have pit Kligerman before I would have pit Allmendinger, but we'll have to wait and see when Kligerman decides it's his time to pit. I think most everybody has now pit. So let's see how far back. Let's see how far back this puts Anthony Alfredo. Or not Anthony Alfredo. They were just talking about Anthony Alfredo, but see how far back this puts AJ Allmendinger. Because, yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that this, Where did Allmendinger end up falling to? We're gonna have to wait and see. I want to see where Allmendinger's at. Trying to see if I can see him on the on Fox's leaderboard, which is on my phone, which is not very big up there. So he's 35 seconds back, so that will put him... Okay, so he is way back. Okay, I wasn't sure if he was going to lose really all that much time. So yeah, he still needs a green flag run, no doubt. Yeah. Still a decent chance, though, for... And there we go. Kligerman makes his stop. But yeah. So now Creed, Byron, and Gibbs can fight it out for the win here in the second stage. So they pit on lap 8. Trying to think. 8 plus 16. They're going to be short. They can't make it to the end of the second stage, so... I mean, in theory, again, assuming there's no yellow in this stage, Allmendinger is going to have the lead back, and he's going to win stage 2 as well, probably. Now, if we do get a yellow, yeah, it would absolutely flip this strategy and put Allmendinger way behind the 8 ball, but... Worst case for... no. There's a car off track. Who is that? Preston Pardis in the number 50 car. I did not recognize that car. Way more familiar with the Cup guys. But yeah, Preston Pardis, he is stopped at the entrance to turn 1. And yep, there's another yellow. Oh. Interesting timing. Kligerman and Allmendinger definitely don't pit here. I think the guys at the front, if you can't make it to the end of the stage, you have to pit for fuel here. You don't risk yourself running out of gas for the stage. Especially where there's no guarantee yellow with the stage. Oh, man. But, yeah. So, yeah, with this yellow, it really does put up a interesting strategy here. I will say, it is weird to be streaming here on a Saturday afternoon as opposed to a Sunday. But, yeah, that's going to be a tough game to figure this all out. By the way, guys, feel free to let me know in the chat or in the comments if you guys are watching this as a video after the fact about some ideas as to what you guys would like to see me do to try and fill, in particular, yellow flag periods, but also if we get some red flags later in the year for, say, rain at Daytona in the summer. What you guys would like to see for content to try and fill that time where I'm going to be streaming. Got a few ideas. I can pull up Madden on my computer and I can play that and put that up on screen for you guys. I'm trying to think of what else I have for options. I mean, I can pull up some NASCAR trivia games like what I did in between the 2 dual races. But I don't know how much you guys would enjoy those. Or I am open to suggestions if you guys have some. But yeah, those are kind of my baseline ideas for what to do. But yeah, of course it'll end up coming down to what is actually doable. So I don't have a way to kind of hook up any other. Because I don't have another screen to hook up, say, another console up to play any kind of console game. Yeah, because my ideal would probably be to just pull up Madden on my computer because I really actually enjoy Madden. I know I don't do much for football content, although I did stream the Super Bowl this past year, but yeah, I don't do much for football content, but I could do it. If you guys, again, let me know what you guys think. Can pull up NASCAR Heat. I could probably get NASCAR Heat 5 for the computer, but it'll be single player only probably coming soon because they're shutting down all the servers for that game. But it's better than Ignition by a country mile. So here we go. So under yellow here, they're towing. So this is now the second car we've seen with a mechanical issue today. In the same section too. I'm confused about why. I'd like to see if they had the same issue or if it was two separate mechanical issues. I mean, these types of tracks are really tough on the equipment, and that's kind of one of those things, like, in particular, missing a shift. Although, again, if you missed a shift, you wouldn't have made it up that hill. In fact, it would have been, on that hill would actually be a really bad spot to miss a shift. Like, if you miss a shift going up that hill and you end up rolling backwards, that would not be good. Say, if you're rolling backwards down that hill, that's probably the most terrifying thing you can imagine. Wait, did nobody pit? Have they opened pit road already and nobody pit? Nope. Uh-oh, the 91 is stopped on track. Oh, great. See, here we go. I am curious to see what ends up happening here. So they really didn't pit. That's so weird. Is this the choose lap? I'm still not convinced. And where is the choose cone? I know. All right, so it's between 11 and 12, so it's along that back straightaway that you guys can see at the top of the track map up there. That's where the choose cone is, and yeah, it's the choose. So we're gonna be going green. So here we go. They're doubled up and ready to go green. I don't know why nobody pit. Like, why? Like, why on earth are we not seeing anybody? I guess we'll have to wait and see how this plays out to the end of this stage, but I don't see this going well for the guys who stayed out. Byron and Gibbs, those are the two I actually understand the strategy for because they don't care about points. But the rest of the field, pretty much. Let me just double check, make sure I've got my numbers right. Alright, so 20 laps of fuel. They pit at 8, so they can go to 28. We're going to be, the second stage will end at like 32. Or 30, something like that. 30 to 32. You're going to be 2 to 3 laps short. Yeah, again, I would, because trying to see if there's any other non-Xfinity points. I mean, Miguel Paludo, Alex LeBay, I guess some of the non-full-timers. Oh, we got a spin in the back. Amarola, AJ Allmendinger are face-to-face there. That is not good. I didn't get it. But it really paid off, I guess, for him because now, granted, there's actually no yellow. There were cars spun around, but there is no yellow out. But yeah, so there was no yellow actually for that, but there were cars going nose to nose there, which is not good. But yeah, so they got it straightened out, but again, it just seems so weird that these guys chose not to pit. Again, these guys, I guess Sammy Smith and Austin Hill would be a couple others that I would understand why, because, again, they are locked into the playoffs already, so they don't really care about points. Yeah, so here we go. This race really is going to be kind of... Oh, we got an issue for big tire rub here for the 9. Watch for people to pit here. We got tire down. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a bunch of people diving for pit road here. Oh, hey, nice that you're tuning in while at the NASCAR race. Not sure why you're tuning in here when you could just look around and actually get to see the race, but thank you for tuning in. But yeah, I just don't understand this strategy from, in particular, the non-cup guys. And we got guys pitting. Yep. So it looks like Paludo's pitting. Jeremy Clements, I think, dove to pit road as well. Oh, yeah, no, pit. Everybody, pit. This is going to bring out a yellow. Yep, oh, yellow's out, and pit road's closed. But Yeah, everybody needed to pit there for that one. Waiting for snacks and can't see the race. All right, well, we're glad to have you in here. We've been doing this for every Cup race this year, and gonna be doing it for all the ones upcoming too, pretty much. The only hard ones are gonna be like I'm not gonna be doing live stream for New Hampshire because I'm actually gonna be at the track that week. But yeah, but yeah. So that was Brandon Jones, who he had a tire come apart and it tore up his fender, and the debris brought out a caution. We're gonna have to see who all made it to pit road before this, because I mentioned it that we saw that there was a tire going down, and who we might see get faked out for diving to pit road. I don't even know what happened there in that turn one incident with Allmendinger and Amarola. They were 5, 6, 7 wide, I think I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7, maybe even 8 cars wide there. That's what happened. I guess 8 cars trying to go wide into a corner. But yeah, ultimately though, that ain't gonna work. But yeah, as soon as the tire was going down, I wasn't gonna be surprised if we saw some people dive to pit road. But if Brandon Jones had made it to pit road with that tire, that would have faked out a ton of those guys, and there would be no yellow. But where it spit out a ton of debris and everything, they had to throw the yellow, and it saved a bunch of those guys. In fact, let's see who all did pit now that they've got the numbers. So we're looking for lap 20 for pit stop. So with Kyle Weatherman, Brad Perez, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Josh Bilicki, Daniel Hemrick. Maybe Daniel Hemrick may have gotten there beforehand. Jeremy Clements, he pitted. Oh, Parker Kligerman? I don't know. Did Kligerman get there in time? Because if he did, that's amazing for Kligerman. But we're going to have to wait and see on that one, on if he got there in time, because he was very far up the field. Talking about making it to the end of the race from here, you need at least 6 more laps. I mean, yeah, if you get some more yellow, maybe, but the fuel window is 20 laps. I mean, even if you extend that to 25, you still end up a lap short. And you don't want to be running out of fuel on a 130-foot incline that is the run after the checker, if you're running on fumes to that thing. Like, you don't want to be the car rolling backwards on your way down from turn 1. Because that would be nuts if you're just kind of rolling backwards with your car out of gas there. But yep. So we're just basically doing this as a preview for the Cup race. I wanted to kind of get a feel for how the strategy was going to play out with the with all the new stage rules and all that. Wanted to get a feel for that, but yeah, so far, honestly, it actually has changed up the strategy a bunch. There's now a ton of options for strategy calls, as opposed to previously where there were 2 strategies. I'm gonna say my pre-race pick was AJ Allmendinger. I would be okay at for Xfinity regulars. I said I thought Sammy Smith probably had a pretty good shot. I'd love to see Parker Kligerman get it though. My heart would be saying Allmendinger, Gibbs, or Kligerman. Kligerman obviously would be the most impactful because it is an Xfinity race, and both Allmendinger and Gibbs are Cup regulars this year. Sammy Smith would be cool to see as well. But yeah, Kligerman would be the one I'd probably be really hoping can get it. William Byron is just kind of the whole thing of a Cup guy going down to top equipment. Now, granted, I know that that's kind of the same thing with Allmendinger and Gibbs. I've been a big Allmendinger fan for a while, and he really hasn't had the success in Cup that. Well, I guess Byron really hasn't actually had a ton of success in Cup until this year, pretty much. I was gonna say that, and obviously Ty Gibbs being a rookie isn't too bad that he's back down in Xfinity for a race. Because I do get a lot of the complaints about the Cup guys in Xfinity, especially the Cup champions in Xfinity to an extent. But I've never minded it too much. I like the extra competition for the Xfinity guys. Gets more eyes on the Xfinity drivers and on the Xfinity race in general. Allows teams to sell more sponsorship with a projected boost in viewership. So, yeah, when it comes to Cup leeches, I've always been pretty okay with them. Not to mention, I feel like it develops better talent when you see who are the guys who can go and outrace a Kyle Busch, a Brad Keselowski, or a Kevin Harvick, like like what we've seen out of William Byron outracing Kyle Busch at Indianapolis. Ross Chastain outracing Kevin Harvick at Darlington in 2018, or in 2017, no, 2018, yeah. I mean, there were quite a few of those moments. Trying to think of who else we've seen outrace that actually turned into a star. I mean, I guess Christopher Bell outracing everybody that showed up. But yeah, I feel like we got a lot of. That's how we found our better. Because the ones who are. When it comes to drivers who kind of bust out or haven't really. Or take a long time to develop, again, not the worst thing for the sport, but certainly doesn't help when they take 10 years to develop. But yeah, like the fact that Austin Hill's been able to outperform Cup regulars, in particular at Las Vegas, that was kind of a big one for me. And I think Austin Hill could be the next big thing, potentially. Not going to hype him up too much, because again, we've seen guys like Byron get hyped up and take 4 years to actually develop to a multi-race winner. But yep, we're back from commercial break, and here we go. They are going back green flag racing. Green, green, green. So here we go. Let's see what's going to end up happening here as they go. Oh, I thought they were going green already. I'm so used to the restart zone being in the final corner, not all the way on the straight, because of how long the front straight is here at Circuit of the Americas. But yep, here we go. And yep, they're running wide, but it looks to be clean through turn one at least. That's nice. So Sheldon Creed and the others stayed out. Now this yellow does extend it. So again, we were thinking 27. They can make it to lap 27 is what we were looking at for fuel window. Maybe 28. But again, you needed to extend it even further to 30 if you want to make it on fuel till the end of the stage. I think, let's see, who's the furthest up the field of the guys who have already pit here, or who just pit? Kligerman, it looks like. Kligerman's still in 10th. Okay, that's good. Wanted to make sure I'm seeing everything right. But yeah. Oh! Josh Berry just shoved Allmendinger off the course. We're going to have to wait and see here, but Yeah, Josh Berry might actually draw a penalty for that because he shoved Allmendinger off into that do not enter zone. Oh, Riley Herbst took a spin. Still stays green, but Riley Herbst just went for a spin there in the midfield. I think that was, or was that Ty Gibbs? No, Ty Gibbs is up in the top 10. That was definitely Riley Herbst. The multiple monster cars messes me up sometimes. But yeah, I'm curious to see. We'll have to wait and see on if there's a penalty for that one. I'm not necessarily rooting for a penalty. I wouldn't be surprised though if we get one, where he did end up kind of door slamming Allmendinger off the course. But Kligerman making his way through. He's got the fresh tires, so he can make it through. So let's see. Is there an update? Alright. So Riley Herbst spun. I'm trying to see if through the through like the race control updates. I don't see them saying it's under that contact under review, but we'll have to wait and see, obviously, on that. Let's see. Parker Kligerman is showing a lot of pace, though, and he did win a truck race last year at Mid Ohio, so he knows how to race these road courses. That's for sure. Oh, wow, there's some beating and banging going on, and they just cut to a blank camera. Why? Okay, here we go. Battle for the lead. That's worth cutting away for. Okay. Side by side for the lead, Byron versus Creed. Byron on the outside here. I can't tell what turn they're in. I don't know. Okay, so they're in turn 17 and 18 here. Going into turn 19 here for Creed. Oh, wait. No, that's turn 20. My bad. I thought that was turn 19. Sheldon Creed, though, holds on to the charge after Byron charges on him. So, Sheldon Creed holds off William Byron so far. And there goes Sammy Smith trying to make a dive up the inside. He's going to try and take second, I think. But no, he was going to end up on the outside there of turn 2 and 3. So he was not going to end up too good of a spot. Now going through the S's, it really is just kind of trying to find build some speed for the braking zone up here in turn 11. The hairpin up in the top right-hand corner there of the track map. Yeah. So we got 6 laps left before they start paying out points again. But again, I don't know how much fuel these guys have left in their cars. We think about 3 to 5 laps is what I'm thinking. And they need 6 laps to get to the stage. But there's no guarantee that there's going to be a yellow to save them if they do stretch it to the end of the stage. I don't know. That seems really risky to me. I wouldn't want to be doing it. So, here we go. I think they're coming up to turn 19, I think that is. Oh! Yeah, so turn 19. And Sheldon Creed new to block there on Byron. This is a really good battle for the lead, honestly. And here we go. I am completely lost, I guess, on where we are. Okay, I think... Alright, so I think that was 19 there, and this is turn 20 to go back onto the front stretch? No? Alright, there's a lot of turns that look the same, I guess. Okay, there's turn 20, okay. Yeah, a little bit turned around there. Allmendinger's all the way up into the top 10? What? How is Allmendinger already back up to, well, he's technically 11th, but how has he managed to pass that many people already? Again, we're going to have to wait and see, obviously, where their fuel ends up running out here. Yeah, hey, at least both Brad and Joey were honest, although I don't know if they could have lied and gotten away with it on that question. They were just both asked if they would race the Xfinity regulars easier, and it's like, yeah, no, neither one of them would. Byron might, although we've kind of seen from how he raced this race, no, he's not. But, yeah. Some of the younger drivers, they might be more willing to give than take against the Xfinity regulars, but, again, I find it hard to believe. If you're in Xfinity, you're still trying to win a race. If you're a Cup driver going down to Xfinity, you're there for the trophy. So here we go. Alright, so Kligerman is on fresher tires. The booth just confirmed it, but it's just confusing here as to how far they can make it. Allmendinger's complaining about people not knowing how to pass, but yeah, I mean, again, right now. Wait, Allmendinger's up to 8th? What? When did that happen? Alright. Again, I think you're gonna see pit stops here in the next 2 to 3 laps, I think. I was gonna say 5, but again, the question is, how far can you stretch the fuel? Here we go, side by side again for the race lead. Oh, Byron has got the lead here. Yep. Byron hanging on the outside here of turn. Oh, side by side, beating and banging. Oh, uh-oh. I don't. Yeah, I think Creed may have drawn a penalty. We're going to have to wait and see from race control, but Creed was definitely flirting there with the thing. So, yeah, it looks like no penalty for Josh Berry, by the way. So. But, yeah, here we go. Sammy Smith and Custer side by side with Kligerman right in behind looking for a pass. And right behind him is, we got a car smoking. Uh-oh. If you need fuel, this would be the time to pit. There's a car smoking. Now, obviously, if you need points, you stay out to hopefully game this, but I don't know. If I don't necessarily need the points, I'm not in the fight for them. I might have even looked at pitting there. Maybe that's one of those situations where you get faked out, but yeah, there was definitely a car with a tire going down, it looked like. But Kligerman there taking the inside lane away from Sammy Smith. Kligerman getting that spot. He's up to 4th now. Oh no! And Sammy Smith took it right back, and now all Dyer is going around the 48 now too of Park Kligerman. I don't know. This seems really back and forth. I'm curious to see what the 48 does as a throwback for throwback weekend at Darlington in a couple weeks. I want to see, but I'm curious. Are we gonna see a blue 48? throwing it back to the greatest driver to drive the 48? Or are we going to see a throwback to some other sport? Or some other motorsport, at least? Here we go. Sheldon Creed just got passed by Cole Custer now. Former Cup guy, not exactly a current Cup driver. And yellow flag flies with 3 laps to go. Brett Moffitt. Yeah, easy. You pit here, no doubt. You pit here, and you probably don't plan on pitting the rest of the race. So, yeah, no doubt there's going to be pit stops here. I think everybody pits. Yeah, so I think everybody here pits for fuel and tires. And I think this is when everybody plans on some pit stops here. But, yeah, now that we're under caution flag and we got the commercial up, I can go ahead and answer some questions from the chat if we got anybody in chat that wants to ask anything. Killa, if you're here, who are you rooting for? Because I saw you asked, and I remember I answered, but I didn't think to ask you who you were rooting for. When it comes to Xfinity, for the most part, I am more of a casual enjoyer, but I do have my favorites that race down there. But again, when it comes to full-timers, most of mine are Cup favorites, so yeah. Who are you rooting for, though, in this race? But, yeah. Let's see, who else we got up in... So, Kligerman ended up back to 6th. Allmendinger looks like he's being scored 7th or 8th. We'll have to see where Brett Moffitt scored after the after his engine went, or whatever ended up happening, because we don't even know what happened to that 25 car. Just going back to the Xfinity points real quick. How has that 25 car done? They're the first car on the outside looking in. So that's going to hurt the fact that they were out this race, if they are out this race. Trying to see what else we got. We got Retzloff. Trying to look at just who's kind of the contenders to maybe be a surprise in the playoffs. But it really looks like it's just going to be the 12 guys that are currently in that playoff hunt might just steamroll away. In this race, though, yeah, it looks like your players are going to be established here on this pit stop. Let's see. Not seeing the 25 out the race. But yeah, it is a bummer to see so many cars out with mechanical problems. So here we go. We got pit stops going on now. They're back from commercial break. But yeah. So 2 laps left in the stage. It's gonna be. I'm curious. What happens if they do the choose cone here? So Creed gets the lead. Custer, Smith, Allmendinger, 4th. I'm curious to see what Allmendinger does now that he's got some top 5 track position again. Parker Kligerman stayed out? That's a gutsy call there. Don't know why Parker Kligerman chose to stay out, but Parker Kligerman is your race leader. I thought it was Creed because I assumed everybody pit. I don't know why Kligerman didn't at least come in and top off. I mean, I can understand not wanting, or not feeling like you needed the 4 tires, but take the fuel only. That way you can realistically make it to the end of the stage without needing another yellow. Because you're not going to lap the field by staying out. Just trying to figure out what the strategy is on that one. Because, like, again, Kligerman is already, so let's see, Kligerman pitted on lap, looks like 15, or even if it was lap 19, I mean, 19 would make more sense to stay out, because you might have a shot, but you need to make it 27 laps, which is not likely. I'm curious to see how the strategy works, because, again, I think Kligerman is a pretty decent road racer. He might know something I don't. Also, the yellow extending the fuel window, maybe, but, yeah, I don't think it's that much, because we did have a decent run there. Not to mention, his tires aren't that fresh, either. Again, there was a decent amount of run there. I don't know, I'm not sure what Kligerman's thought is, unless he just thinks he can get the lead and hold on to it the entire way. But so far we've shown you're going to be at 3 or 4 wide minimum going into turn 1, even as the leader. I mean, Parker Kligerman showed us it, or Ty Gibbs showed it to us right on the start of the race. He took Allmendinger and the others 4 wide on the first corner. So, yeah. So my question is, if they were going to do the restart with 0 to go, what would happen? Would they restart from the restart zone and it's basically a scramble to the start-finish line? Because that would be chaotic. Although they can't really pass before the start-finish line anyway, but yeah. Curious to see what that would be like at this point. Here we go, and it's green, green, green. They're back to racing. Or should be back to racing. They sped up a ton, but they actually hadn't gotten to the restart zone yet. Or did they? Oh. My screen's off. But yeah, here we go. They're green, and Kligerman is going to get off in the lead, and Almirola, Sieg, Burton. All right, so you did have a number of people that actually stayed out with him to help bury them in traffic. So yeah, about 6 cars stayed out. Oh, Cole Custer is off and he's sliding, and this might be what helps. That might be what's going to help Kligerman here. We're going to have to wait and see. There is no yellow yet for it, but I don't see how that doesn't bring one out at some point here. Maybe they're just going to try and let him race it to the line, but again, I find it hard to believe that this isn't going to bring out a yellow at some point. So Ryan Sieg is actually your stage leader right now, after all this has happened. So Parker Kligerman, he is way back. What happened to him? Oh, another spin. But yeah, Ryan Sieg, though, he's looking like he's going to be the big winner here. He might get the stage win. No, Sheldon Creed goes and takes it, and he's got the fresh tires here. And that's turn 19. And here we go. Coming into turn 20. This should be the last corner of the stage. Oh, wait, no, sorry. That's that was 15, my bad. 15, 16, 17. Coming up to, and then 18, and then now we're going to 19. Here we go. Turn 19. And there we go. They throw the yellow before the, I guess, I mean, it was pretty much over anyway, but yeah, Cole Custer is still beached. How does Cole Custer go from being so dominant in 2019 in Xfinity to now he's beached and his only top 10 so far this year has come at Daytona? Alright, what happened? Was it his mistake? Or was it... Yeah, he went wide and... Okay, so Almirola did end up shoving Creed wide. Which is actually funny because they're teammates, technically. But, yep. There we go. Sheldon Creed still wins the stage and he will get your points. But, yeah. Man. Okay, so Josh Berry ultimately, so Almirola shoved Custer wide, but then as Custer was trying to rejoin the track, it was actually Berry that turned across the nose of. Alright, so that's interesting. That's a little better than what it initially looked like. Again, I'd say that was... I would put the blame pretty squarely on Custer for that one. I mean, yeah, he was moving down. He thought he was clear, I guess, and ended up spinning himself off the nose. So, yeah, that's the beauty of replays. We can actually see whose fault it was rather than trying to place blame blindly. Like, oh, hey, look, Almirola made contact and shoved him wide in turn one, even though it didn't ultimately make a difference in the finish here. But here we go. Alright, here we go. I am curious to see how these final 16 laps go, but yeah, I think Allmendinger and Byron are going to be the interesting ones to watch. They're sitting back in about 6th and 7th place. Honestly, all three Cup drivers, actually, because you can throw Ty Gibbs in that mix as well in 8th. Those three are so fast, I wouldn't be surprised to see them storm through the field here. Ryan Sieg's got to pit. I think Almirola has to pit. So the lead would be Creed, Nemechek, Berry, Allmendinger, Byron would be kind of your preliminary. I think that's top 5 that I read off there. No, I only read off 4 names, so Byron would be 5th. But yeah. Certainly, it's an interesting one to see, but man. Hopefully, we can actually get some green flag racing now that there aren't points available on the line right away. But yeah, now that there aren't points readily available right at the turn 1, maybe we can get through turn 1. Man. I will say the lack of stages has actually been kind of interesting. Again, it opened it up to a lot more strategies as opposed to me being able to literally tell you the script for stages 1 and 2. Because normally I can tell you the script of an Xfinity or any race really from the last couple of years. I am curious though. We're gonna have to wait and see how this all shakes out. So it looks like Amarola stayed out. Alright, here we go. They're going to show the in-depth sky cam here. Alright, so they're trying to say that it was kind of Barry, but Barry didn't have anywhere to go, but I don't know. I'd be curious to see if Custer wasn't trying to close off the corner there. But yeah, it sounds like Parker Kligerman's having car trouble, which is not good after the great day it looked like he was set up to have. So Kligerman did pick up stage points. That's good. So there we go. John Hunter Nemechek up to he's the top Toyota. That's impressive. Here we go. They're doing the choose. Honestly, at the road course, I don't think the choose is gonna matter a ton. Yeah, it's basically just choose shortest line available and probably go to the left if you can. Yeah, that was a lot of cars taking the outside there. But yeah, for most of the front of the field, though, it looked like they were just kind of going odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, like we normally do. Alright, here we go. Let's see what's going to end up happening here. Brandon Jones back up into the top 10. Hey, you know what? Props to him. Brandon Jones, I've been pretty critical of him over the years of not being the best, which I still don't believe that he's really all at. He's not. He's certainly not as good as the rides he's been in, but hey, this is showing some real grit, though. Blown tire, tore up the fender, and he kept it clean enough to where he's still in the race, and he's top 10 right now. He's currently going to be restarting 9th, it looks like. So that's one thing I will say about about Brandon Jones. But here we go, coming off of turn 20 down towards the Geico restart zone. And it is going to be... Should be green, green, green. Let's go. Boogity, boogity. And we're back to racing. Also, we're back to our normal Geico restart zone this week. Forgot to mention that. I'll probably mention it tomorrow during the Cup when I do the Cup stream. But here we go. Sheldon Creed. He's running wide. Could this be Sheldon Creed? Sheldon Creed hasn't won an Xfinity race yet, has he? Like, Allmendinger went from 6th to... What? How did he go from 6th place to 2nd already? 6th to 2nd in one corner. Has Sheldon Creed won an Xfinity race yet? I'm trying to think if he has. I can't think of one that he's won. So, I guess it's down to Allmendinger to break Sheldon Creed's heart here. Because, yeah, I can't think of him winning a race. If someone can think of it, let me know, because I'd love to know what his race win was. I can't think of a race that Creed won. Barry was just involved in that last crash. He's still up in the top 10. He's knocking on the door of the top 5. I'm surprised Amarola didn't pit. So Amarola pit at lap 20. So that means he would go 26 laps if he goes to the end. That is really long. That's a long way to go here. And, oh, there we go. Allmendinger showing the nose there to the inside on Creed. But here we go. Now they're going on that long sweeping corner. The carousel, I think, is what most people call it. But here we go into turn 19. Now, oh, contact from Allmendinger. He just goes and turns him. Allmendinger tries to pass him the same way he got passed last year, and Byron now takes him wide. That is... I'm not the biggest fan of Allmendinger doing that. I don't know if it was intentional, but no. Here we go. As I say, if it wasn't intentional, it certainly is questionable, but there we go. Allmendinger trying the crossover. More beating and banging. Here we go. As I say, it's a fun race, honestly. We got a pretty good duel between these two guys. But, yeah, I'm curious to see what ended up happening there, because, like, was that just Allmendinger being tired of him, or did he just make a mistake? Because he drove it in there really deep on Creed. I don't know if he thought he would be more along forward, and that would be kind of more side-to-side contact. Here we go. Let's see the replay. Yeah, so, I mean, to an extent, it looked like incidental contact to an extent. But again... Yeah, so what I see there is I think Allmendinger was hoping he would be more alongside when he made the eventual contact to kind of go door to door. But the contact was made much earlier and it led to the spin. I get it. I'm not a fan of the move, but again, I can see what he was going for at least. And I would say the same thing for any driver, even though bias, I am an Allmendinger fan. But yeah, and that's the thing. He's been trying to be patient all day long. I mean, honestly, a lot of drivers have been trying to be somewhat patient. A lot of bumps. Nobody really getting that impatient. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a blow to Creed. Yeah, I will say that's the other thing, is that if you follow the two there, I think... Yeah, so I think if Allmendinger had followed the two, I think Byron would have probably done the same thing that Allmendinger did, but to Allmendinger. So it was kind of punt or get punted there. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously, on the long run here. But yeah, now it's down to 2 Cup regulars. I mean, it's kind of it has pretty much deflated the finish. Now, granted, I think Creed could still drive through the field. It's going to be much harder for him to drive through this field at this point. Where did he end up falling to? Sheldon Creed is 21st. That's going to be a lot of positions to try and pass, but he's got a long way to go. I mean, we got what? 16, 18 laps, something like that at the stage. Yeah, so we got 18 laps in this final segment. But, yeah, here we go. I mean, it's just... Because, yeah, now it's just Cup driver versus Cup driver, which is not really the best for the series. It's always fun when you have a series regular versus a Cup guy. But, yeah. We'll have to wait and see what Byron does when it gets closer, because there's still 10 laps to go. That's over 3 miles. That's over 30 miles of racing still. I mean, I know that 30 miles isn't the longest time period in the world, but... So let's see, 10 laps at, let's say, 2 minutes 11 seconds, because that's what the track record they set yesterday was. So even if they're going track record pace, this is going to be a 20-minute race still. Easily a 20-minute event, so... There's still time for Creed to make up some of these spots. It'll just won't be easy by any stretch. But here we go. But yeah, man. Again, it's just deflating to see that type of move happen this early. I'm not saying that this race could definitely be interesting between these two. It just kind of, there's almost no stakes now outside of the race win, because neither of the front two are going for points. Neither one's trying to prove themselves. Because Byron's not going to prove anything by beating Allmendinger, or isn't going to prove much by beating Allmendinger in an Xfinity car. Now, the fact that it's a road course, yeah, if you can beat Allmendinger at a road course at any level, it's impressive and interesting, but yeah, that's kind of the thing, is that neither one of these guys, they're both going to be back on track tomorrow, so. Then you have the 3 Gibbs cars, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, fighting it out. Curious to see what the 3 Gibbs cars end up doing here. So, here we go. I am curious to see what Sammy Smith could do if he did get a shot at Byron or Allmendinger, but he seems really good at these road courses, but he just keeps ending up running against Allmendinger and a Hendrick car, and it's like, okay. Like last year at Watkins Glen, he was 3rd place to Allmendinger and Larson in the Hendrick number 17 car in Xfinity. I think that was it. Or was that him in the 88? Can't remember if that was one of his races in the 88 or if that was in the 17. But still, Sammy Smith's been pretty good, but... So yeah, right now, I mean, again, we're just kind of... it really is deflating to see a wreck like that, and I'm trying to keep it positive, but yeah, I'm really bummed for Sheldon Creed. Let's see. Let's get a Sheldon Creed update. Where is he up to? He's up to 18th, but he's dropped back essentially 4 seconds. So there's 4 more seconds between them now than there were before because he's having to pass people. But yeah, I'd like to see another yellow maybe to bunch us back up for to try and bring this field together, but it just really there isn't much left for these guys to do. But yeah, they're just as I say right now. Again, these guys are just kind of waiting it out to the end of the race because I think Byron is gonna wait a little longer now that he's kind of seen the wreck already. But yeah, I'd like to see another yellow here. Bunch field back up, give Creed another shot, but yeah, it's not likely that we get it. I think now that we're green, we might actually go green flag to the checkers, which is unfortunate because I think we could very well have a very interesting race here. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, there we go. We got action here in the mid pack here. We got Brandon Jones and Connor Mosak going side by side here. They're back in 11th and 12th, so that pass was for 11th there. But yeah, Sam Mayer up to 10th. That's nice to see. But they're going to commercial break before we get to the end of this thing. Man. And say it is a side by side yellow or side by side commercial. I mean, so that we can see the fight for the win develop. But yeah, it's a long. This is a long race. I mean, again, like the laps are long, and that's part of why we aren't getting updates as quickly as we could from the lap count. But yeah, I mean, again, Creed is making his way through the field, but it feels like it's going to end up being too little, too late for Creed. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, but. So waiting to see if anything else is going to happen, because like that's kind of the thing with these types of races is that a lot will happen and then nothing will happen for a while. But yeah, I mean, right now, again, it seems like William Byron's biding his time. Here we go. They're showing Creed again. Doesn't look like he's got anybody behind him or anybody near in front of him here. I'd love to see if Sheldon Creed can come back here and pay Allmendinger back within this race. That'd be amazing. But I don't think he's gonna get a shot at it, unfortunately. Sheldon Creed's up to 13th place. So again, if he can get a yellow, he has a shot. So here we go. So yeah, Creed, he's on a charge. I just feel like he's going to come up short getting there. I mean, it is kind of the... I know it's the status quo or whatever, but I just don't see him getting through the field fast enough. He's losing time to the lead, even though he's passing cars. So, yeah. So, here we go. Let's see. I mean, again, like, just, Creed's up to 12th. He's making the move, but it's just not going to be enough. I wish there was more I could say about this, but right now all the implications are just about the race win, and Byron's biding his time here. If we could get a yellow here, the sooner the better to bunch the field back up, allow Creed to make some passes quick, but yeah, I would love to see another yellow here to try and bunch this field back up again. I don't think we're going to get it, though, at this point. Now, I think we're done with lead changes? It's hit or miss again. But yeah, I mean, right now we're just we're in the limbo position here for the race, where the front two have gotten away, but they aren't really challenging each other quite yet. Then you've got three teammates just kind of playing somewhat nice behind each other, behind there. Then you got Allgaier, Hemrick, Barry, Mayer. I mean, it's a big selection of everybody, but there we go. Ty Gibbs up to third. No, Sammy Smith. I'm going to say, Sammy Smith will end up being the top performing Xfinity driver, Xfinity regular, if we don't have a yellow. But yeah, I mean, again, like right now, it's just. I wish there was more I could say about this race, but yeah. I'm say it is kind of the nature of the beast with this type of racing. So here we go. Through, I think that's 14. Now down through 15, 16, and 17. Or no, that's 14, 15 up there, and then 16, 17, 18 there. Then here we go, turn 19. Yeah, turn 19 for Allmendinger. And they're going to side by side for another break here with 6 laps to go. But yeah, 20 plus laps. Are you kidding me? Sheldon Creed up to 11th now, but he's 26 seconds back. He's not running that much down in that short a time. But yeah. Yeah, say, without a yellow, this Creed's race is done. He's making a lot of progress, though. I would love to see him get another shot at this. But yeah, I mean, again, like when it comes to the Xfinity Series points, there's not much. There's nothing super tense yet mainly because we haven't seen a big surprise winner yet this year. I would expect that we will see I expect that we'll see a surprise winner in Xfinity before long, but we haven't seen it yet, so the points really aren't all that interesting. And where you have the top 3 are all occupied by Cup guys isn't helping. Allgaier making the pass on John Hunter Nemechek, and Nemechek battling back on the inside. So, yeah, it's a duel, but it looks like Allgaier is going to get the better here. But, yeah, here we go. Oh, man. Here we go. I am curious to see how tomorrow's race goes with all the Cup guys, because in Cup we have had a surprise winner we've had a surprise winner, and we had the big penalty for the Hendrick cars, making the points interesting there. All right, let's see. Creed up into the top 10. So if we could get the yellow now, that'd be great, because I don't think he's 5 seconds back from Mayer. So for a yeah, I'd say Allmendinger can't make a mistake here without giving up the lead to Byron, but he's got the room to run a half lane widen up his entry potentially to try and gain time on corner exit. But man, I mean, oh, there we go. Hemrick spins out John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek gets spun by Daniel Hemrick with a much slower version of what we saw with the leaders. And now that he rejoins right in front of Sheldon Creed after all that. I mean, again, at least that one was Xfinity on Xfinity driver drama, but as opposed to the other one, which was Cup on Xfinity. I mean, but yeah, here we go. And now Creed's up to 9th. And here we go. Time to see if John Hunter Nemechek, after getting spun like that, is going to try and do a move on Sheldon Creed. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping that when we saw that spin to bring out the yellow, but yeah, now that we're 3 laps to go, I think it's hard to imagine a yellow. Oh! Yeah, Ryan Sieg slow. Oh, he spun. So it wasn't a mechanical failure for the 39. He just lost it and spun. I say, yep, staying green. So Cup drivers 1, 2, 3. Again, I think that shows that the talent level in the Xfinity series has dropped somewhat, at least in terms of the road course talent. Because again, like you got 3 Cup drivers, 2 of which were in this series full time last year, and they're still right at the top of the list. And nobody's really up here challenging. Now, granted, Creed probably could have challenged and probably could have even won this thing if he didn't get spun. But we'll have to wait. We'll never know, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, again, like, just deflating, honestly, is kind of the easiest way I can describe this finish. Like, again, Cup drivers 1, 2, 3 in an Xfinity race. Especially after contact, where it was looking like it was going to be a really fun 3-way duel between Sheldon Creed, Allmendinger, and Byron. But, yeah. Here we go. 2 laps to go. This is the last lap. If we want to see a restart, the yellow would have to come before these guys get back to the line. Because if the white comes out, the race will end under yellow. But yeah, ultimately, again, I don't see much happening here. Because right now, the big thing we're waiting on is a mistake from Allmendinger. And the last time he made the mistake in I guess you could say the brake lockup, although I don't think that was necessarily a mistake. I think he dove in there and then didn't realize that he was going to be in too deep until it was too late. But again, it's just one of those deals. It happens so frequently. We see a lot of this in Xfinity, and we've seen it for years that a Cup driver ends up getting into the back of a Xfinity driver's season. Oh, Dash for Cash starts next week. Okay, hey, you know what? I'll cover the Dash for Cash races for the Xfinity series. So, if you guys are interested in the Dash for Cash races for the Xfinity series, I'll be covering those here. That'll be exciting. So here we go. I'm sorry, I didn't even realize the Dash for Cash started this soon. But yeah, I'll do the Dash for Cash races and I'll do the Triple Truck Challenge too. Those races. Assuming that all work schedules and stuff work out, but I should be able to do most of them at least. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. But here we go. Here comes the Allmendinger. White flag is out, so no yellow to save Sheldon Creed. This battle, it's between Allmendinger and Byron, and here you go. Byron got close. So here we go. It's close. It's within diving range. The question is, how far will Byron be willing to go to win this race over Allmendinger? And Byron just got loose and he lost any shot he has of legitimately trying to win this race. Now Byron could absolutely send it into Allmendinger and use Allmendinger's car to try and save himself, especially on turn 20 to try and win the race. But again, I wouldn't want to see that. Second off, although he actually isn't doing too bad at closing in, problem is that you got to be able to dive in there to the back of him. Here we go. We're coming up to the tail end of the. Here we go. Long back straightaway here. Long back straightaway, but man, there's just yep. Here we go, and Byron's not going to be able to catch him. It doesn't look like. Yeah, you're gonna need a really lucky mistake here from Allmendinger. I mean, again, I'm not a fan of the way that Allmendinger has won this race, but he is gonna win this race. And honestly, again, it's not the worst I've seen. He had to earn it, but yeah, it's just kind of, again, I think the word for it is deflating. AJ Allmendinger. The dinger bell rings for AJ, and here we go. AJ Allmendinger wins it over William Byron. And then we will have Ty Gibbs running third. Fourth was Sammy Smith. Fifth place was Justin Allgaier. Sixth, Hemrick. Seventh, Mayer. Eighth, Barry. Ninth was Sheldon Creed. 10th, Riley Hurst. 11th, Jeb Burton. 12th, Brandon Jones. 13th, Chandler Smith. 14th, Miguel Paludo. And Jeremy Clements rounds out your top 15. And pretty much, let me see if there's anybody notable anywhere down here. I mean, there's some others, but yeah, Kaz Gralla running the double duty. He finishes 18th. Ryan Sieg ends up 23rd after his spin. Amarola ends up 25th. Nemechek ended up 27th after whatever happened with him. Parker Kligerman ends up 30th, which is really not good. Sounds like his car may have broken or something late in the race. Cole Custer ends up one lap down after his incident that he had. But, yep, that was the end of the race. And, yeah, it looks like the graphic on the website ended up on NASCAR's website ended up messing up and said 18 laps for this stage when it's really only 16, but yeah, I mean, again, I'm not again, it just feels kind of deflating, but hopefully you guys did enjoy this live stream covering the Xfinity race. Of course, let me know if you guys want to see me cover more Xfinity Series action, but outside of that, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the NASCAR Cup Series live stream. But outside of that, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys there. Goodbye!